Alrighty, can you all hear me? Just checking the sound. You can hear me loud and clear. Can you hear me? I'm not sure if there's a bit of a delay here or not. Just trying to work it out. Okay, looks like you got me loud and clear. Good stuff. Okay. Yeah, second live for the day. This morning we're just sort of running you through the podcast, doing that sort of thing, all good to go. Now I wanted to sort of go through and sort of touch on another topic. You're going to see a lot more of me across in your faces a little bit more at the moment, because I really want to get the word back out there as to what we can and can't do, right? There's a lot out there that people aren't doing, and there's a lot of people that are not familiar with the way that I teach and the way that I trade. And I think it's time to sort of get back on that bandwagon and preach the good word of Cobb. So effectively, today I did my scan with my live trading floor. Actually, today was a live trading floor and VIP scan today. And as I do every day, made up the watch list and whatnot, and had a look through a number of the markets that were setting up with some really nice daily cradles. I mean, I just want to throw this up on the daily here across this top 10 just quickly. I think it was Friday. Now I'm pretty sure I did this video to my Market View members, so the ones that get the 6-day-a-week videos sent to their email inbox. I said that as we pulled back into here, I wasn't really too keen to look for a trade there. I wasn't going to get long Bitcoin at this point. I had said I wanted to see it pull back a little bit further and give me a smaller candle for me to really be interested in that. But when I said that, I mean, I guess the additional point, hello to everybody. I guess the additional point to that is that, at the time, if you look at Ethereum is right back in that cradle zone beautifully well. I mean, let's get the dates down here. So what have we got there? The 12th of April. There it is there. So I was, with Ethereum, I was like, well, look, we're back into that old resistance level, back into the 50%, back into the cradle zone, in an uptrend. 2 days also looking really nice. It was like bang, 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 bang. Everything was looking superb, right? It was looking superb. And I thought to myself, well, look, because I got Ethereum, and there was others as well, but Ethereum was a good example. I was like, if Bitcoin does move from here, then Ethereum against the dollar will probably do the same. It's just the way this market works. You're probably pretty familiar with that now. So I thought, why take the average trade when I could, potentially wait for a really, really good one? And there is a nice bullish candle there today. A really good looking chart there. Cradle trade, boom, looking really, really good. Now, if I come through EOS, the reason I've not traded EOS, very similar to that example of Bitcoin there. It's just not a deep enough pullback. I just don't really like it being in between $5 and $6. Resistance at 6, support at 5. There's not too much action to be had there when we look at a daily time frame. Stellar, no leverage options there yet. Maybe on Bittrex there is. I haven't actually been there for quite a long time. Not traded it anyway. Not really that exciting. Ripple, back into that sort of halfway point between 35 and 29 in that range. Not interested at all. Litecoin was beautiful as well. As you can see on that on the 12th of April, another cradle, pull back into the cradle beautifully. Hit that 50%. I mean, it was looking fantastic. Really, really looking fantastic there. Bitcoin Cash, it's ground out a bit higher. Binance, it's pulled back and moved. Tron, not a lot going on here as of today thus far. As you can see across this top 10, very little actually happening. Okay, very, very little actually happening. So let me take you back through and show you what I'm talking about when I say, if you've missed the trade, maybe you haven't been able to get the order in. Maybe it's not today. Maybe it's a hypothetical that we're going to talk to here. But let's say you didn't get the trade. Let's say you've missed a trade, okay? So there's two things. One, people will say, oh, Jesus, I've got to jump in. I've missed it. I'll just get in now anyway. I would suggest that to be a bad option, because it instills that you can change things at a whim as you like, because you'll always come up with an excuse. You'll always come up with a reason. We always do. But you don't want to be doing that. And number two is that you can look at the lower time frames for your options. So let me come back and show you again this daily. So let's say you did want to take this, okay? Let's say you did want to take this trade and you couldn't because you were taking the kids to football, or you were fishing, or you were, I don't know, underwater, or whatever your reason was. Who cares? You didn't get to take it. Okay. oh, what do? I've got to buy it now. No. Come to the lower time frames, because you know what? If this is to play out as a cradle and continue to move and break to new highs, well, the chances are you're going to get another opportunity on these lower time frames. Now, I'm not saying this. I'm not suggesting that you don't trade the higher time frames because you always want to hang out for a lower. That's not the point at all. No, not even close. Not at all, right? What I am saying is that you can, if you've missed it on that higher time frame, come down to the lowers. Now let me show you this. This is the 4 hour, the mid time frame that I like to trade from quite a lot. If I show you this here, you'll see the moving averages have just fanned into the correct order, 10 above the 20 for that cradle zone. Nothing really there on the 4 hour just yet, but we've got a higher low and a higher high. Jump to the 2 now, and you'll actually note that, yeah, okay, it's not looking too bad here. Throw in something like, something as simple as Fibonacci. Okay, cool. Pull back into the 50%, back into that cradle zone. And look, I'm just speaking hypothetically here. But you can still stalk it for opportunities after that daily trade has actually triggered, so you don't miss out. You can do that across many of these pairs, like especially right now, that they are trending, they are pulling back. And look at EOS, for example. Now, I didn't like it on the daily because there's resistance at $6. And on the daily, that would have been a relatively large candle. I wouldn't have had my one-to-one before that resistance, so I wouldn't take it. But if I can get a nice little entry on this 2 hour, back into this cradle zone, somewhere like where this support is, let's do that. Let's just do a little hypothetical here. We've got a little bit of support running through there. So old resistance can become new support. Let's see if we can match that up with a fib here. It looks as though it'll be a 61.8. Nope, I'm wrong. It's a 50. You've got a 50% fib there. You've got it pulling back into the cradle zone. You've got the moving averages fanning out on the 2 hour and the 4 hour. See what I mean? You can start to progress through the different items within the checklist for the booster, for the breakout, and for the cradle, and you can start to formulate a bit of an intraday plan for a potential trade setup. Now, this is a really good way of doing it because you've got a lot more room for movement with a tighter stop loss on a trade like this, so you can scale out before you hit your one-to-one, and away you go. It's much easier. So this video, or this live event, live Facebook, YouTube, whatever, it's really there to, I suppose, point out some of the things that I know people do get FOMO. I know, especially once we start to move harder. And looks like we've just seen a bit of a move in the market right there quickly. What's going on here? We've just seen it pulling back a couple of dollars. Nothing major. I just noticed it was sort of flat. Now it's down 0.68, and that'll probably because the European market is starting to kick into gear now, heading to, it's usually when I was trading foreign exchange and traditional markets, they'd start to have their volume come in. Now that we're outside of daylight savings here in Sydney, they'd start to come in about 5 o'clock in the afternoon was when the volume from there came in, and we're starting to see that coming in right now. Often I'll see a quick little move around this time, but also 9 o'clock in the morning. I've seen some big, not big spikes, but some activity around that start of the day or podcast time, really. And yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so effectively, what have we got here? Let's just make have a little run through here. Okay, so Bitcoin pulling back in that cradle. I would consider it if I got a perfect setup. What about Ethereum? Yep, same sort of thing. I'm long Ethereum, so I'm not so concerned. I probably wouldn't take a trade there again because I've already got one. EOS, back into this level. Again, a good little option there. Stellar, no, not good enough there. Ripple, again, very sideways as well. Litecoin, not the best of trends, but not terrible either. A pullback into that cradle for sure, I'd consider it. Bitcoin Cash, another one that I would consider, but only on the lower time frames. Binance, it's a bit messy, a bit all over the shop, a bit of resistance, probably not so interested. When we look at Tron, yeah, not really that interesting there. And finally, Cardano. What do we got here? The potential for maybe a big, it's not the best of trend for a breakout trade. Probably not so much. So again, just to revisit that, I just wanted to show you, if you don't get a trade on during the day, you can come back through sometimes and find your lower time frame trading opportunities when you look across those more liquid asset classes. They have to be liquid assets. They cannot be something that's really gapping in the lower time frames. If that doesn't make any sense to you, well, it's probably a good time for you to invest in your education. I can help you with that. Up to you. I'm not going to sell it too much more than that. Question: Did you hear of Float SV Exchange? BSV to fiat only? Nope, certainly have not. I'm after liquidity, so if there's liquidity there, then I'm all for it. Yeah, so Adam, you've asked, how did I get filled on ETH? Because it didn't trigger, you're right, on Bitfinex. It did on BitMEX. So that's the reason why it put me in by a bee's dick. And I'm long on BitMEX. Bitfinex, didn't trade it there. BitMEX did. BitMEX put me in. Bitfinex hasn't triggered. So there you go. Anyway, guys, jump across TraderCobb.com. For those of you who haven't got the free bi-weekly video newsletter, go and get it. You just go to the webpage, TraderCobb.com, scroll down beneath my mush where the video is explaining a bit about this, that, and the other. You can put your details in and you can get the 2 weekly videos that go out there, and you can hear about what's going on, what we're up to, what we're focused on. So more than happy for you to jump on there. It is free. There's a bunch of webinars and whatnot as well within that website. So go over there, have a look, and don't forget to tune into the TraderCobb Crypto Podcast, where I do it twice a day. Interviews with guests, as well as looking at the market every single morning, which is what the first live video was today. Guys, I hope you have a fantastic evening. Trade well, trade smart. Don't wait for the next market to move. Learn the skills that you need so that when it happens, you are ready. Anyway, bye for now.